Hey, what's up guys? This is Timo here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So Necros, the latest hero, is now available in the altar. Those of you who were in the game chat over the last day or so know that I tried really hard to get him, and I did indeed finally get him. So I was able to level him up, ascend him, and then we're going to talk about his skills, his potential loadouts, and then we're going to try him out in Arena to see what he's like in different scenarios. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and get our code because it is a new hero. And with the new hero, I want to make sure that we can also get some benefits from a redeemable code. So here it is. If you go ahead and type in T_Necro or Necros, then _ undead. So you type this in, and if you hit confirm, go ahead and claim your gift for some XP dummy and as well as some dust. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the skills of Necros, and we're going to talk about his skills in a little bit more detail because it's a little bit different than the others that you've seen so far, and so I want to make sure I take some time to explain it, and then we're going to talk about his loadout, and then we're going to see him in action in Arena. So I'm going to spend more time on the special ability side, just because I think it deserves the time to break down. First, his special ability, he has two parts. First part is debuff, and the second part is damage. Because he's a warlock type, he's good at debuffing, he's good at getting mana, and what's nice is he also has a damage aspect to him. So the debuff part is he inflicts freeze on a single enemy, so one enemy gets frozen for 2 turns. Maximum level will be 3 turns. He also decreases defense on all enemies, okay? And so they can all get dealt more damage. And then this next part is where he deals damage, and this is where I want to explain a little bit. So chain damage is a new concept. So we have 3 types of damage now in Gemstone Legends. The first one is single damage. That means you hit a single enemy, and then that's it. You just deal damage to that person. And then there is the area of effect, AoE attack, where you take the same damage value and you just apply it to everyone, okay, all at once. They all get damaged the same way. And then there's chain damage. So chain damage actually is it's like a hybrid. You start by hitting one enemy, but then the damage gets then applied to the next enemy after that, to the right of the enemy, and then to the right, and so forth, all the way through. Okay, so all enemies do end up getting hit, but there's an order to it. And on top of that, every time you move on to the next hero enemy to deal damage to, that amount of damage is decreased by 20%. So you actually hit less as you sort of traverse through the enemies, and so they're not all going to get the same damage. And the thing about damage in general is that no matter who you hit, no matter the type of damage, it's always going to matter whether you're hitting against a strong color or whether the enemy has, strong defense or whatnot. That is always going to be in play. And I think there's some special scenarios we're going to take a look as well in the fights as well. So that is chain damage. Think of it as like a chain lightning. You start with one person, and then it just kind of jumps to the next ones. So there is an order involved, and it goes from left to right. If you start in somebody in the middle, then it goes to the right until the last hero on the right side. Then it goes back to the left enemy, and then moves forward. Like that. So that's the way. That's a sequence of damage. Okay. So I spent a little bit of time on the active skill. Hopefully it makes sense. I'm going to talk about that in as we fight in the arena as well. And then we'll take a look at his passive ability as well. He increases accuracy for all your allies, okay, the more health he has. And then he decreases accuracy for enemies the more health he has. So he makes it even harder for your enemies also to land their debuffs. And then he heals himself whenever any hero dies. Okay, not just on his side. No matter who dies, he heals. So he's pretty strong. And then I think the most important aspect of his skill is that he blocks all resurrections on either side if he's still alive. Whew, that's a lot. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the skills. We're gonna go over that in the fights as well. But first, let's take a look at the loadout. In terms of loadout, because he is a debuffer, you want to make sure he has accuracy. I think first and foremost, you want accuracy on him. But then he also deals damage based on health. And it's a good thing to have health because he also makes it make sure your hero's stronger and the rest of your enemies weaker. So the higher health he has, the better. So focus on health, focus on accuracy, and then all the other things that come along with it that you know, if you can, try to get some critical rate, try to get some critical damage, because he does deal damage anyway, and so you might as well get that. It's going to be really easy to get really flustered trying to balance everything. And so what I did was I ended up saying, I'm just going to go and focus on health and accuracy for him. Everything else, if I can make it work, great. If not, I can still just focus on those, and I think you'll be just fine. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into Arena here. We're going to try and fight a variety of different opponents, and I'm also going to show you this one loadout I have. I might switch it out here and there, but this is actually one of the stronger teams that I can come up with right now. And I'm focused on area effect damage overall. So let's go ahead and take a look at our fight. But we're going to focus on Necros ability, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to start by putting, you know, putting silence on most of the heroes. We couldn't get it on Karagon, and it looks like, unfortunately, we lost Vepris already because of Maharod. Okay, so that is something that you have to be careful of, and we're already in sort of an uphill battle, and that's the reason why I brought in other heroes instead of just Vepris, because I didn't want to be in a situation where Vepris becomes the only damage dealer, and as you can see here, I'm already in trouble right now, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and push on, and we're gonna try and see if we could make, you know, how we can survive this. Okay, it's not going to be easy for sure, but let's go ahead and give this a try. All right, so first things first, we do have immunity. Okay, and so this is where Morena really comes in handy, as well as Gamares, because you're going to be able to do some you're going to be able to dispel their basically you're going to try and get rid of their debuffs or their buffs, okay? And I'm going to do this one more time, and then we're going to use Gomari's skill one more time, and then we're going to use Necros to show you how that works, okay? And so here you go. So we were able to get rid of the immunity on we're able to get rid of immunity on Maharod, and I'm going to use the skill on Maharod first. So what you're going to see is the damage is going to start from Maharod, travel to the right, and then come back to Guinevere, finally dealing the least amount of damage to Sigil. All right, so let's go ahead and hit this. So you see that Maharod gets the freeze, and then everyone else gets defense down. All right, and let's go ahead, and I don't have give me the most hard time. It's actually going to be, it actually will be Helica, but we're going to go ahead and clear out, we're going to go ahead and put 2 freezes on Sigil first, and then let's go ahead and see if we could do something about, Helica here. So I don't think I can actually do any freeze here. Okay, but I think I want to make sure that I can. So here's how it's going to work. Helica's going to get frozen, and then Sigil will be frozen next as well. So Helica's not going to be able to use her skill just yet. I didn't expect it to be quite long, but here we go. That's our first fight, but you can see where. You can see how Necros, his damage wasn't the same across, but his biggest benefit is his single freeze, because you can target who you freeze. He is very useful in this situation, okay? And think about, the thing about playing with Necros is you have to think about where you're going to apply your freeze, because it's going to make a big difference for you. All right, let's move along and try another scenario here. Now we're up against Akuma. So Akuma also gets impacted by Necros here, because you'll see his revive won't work and Nefre's revive is not going to work. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how this works out. Okay, this is one of the reasons why Necros is so strong. Okay, because you can take out anyone and Nefri will not be able to revive at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and clear out the immunity. We're gonna go ahead and apply our Assassin's Mark, and then we're gonna go ahead and freeze everyone. Okay, and so let's go ahead now and see what we need to do. So I think I want to be able to try and charge up I want to try and charge up Vepris if I can. I'm not sure that I'll be able to though. I guess I could, but then I'm not going to be able to charge up the rest of the heroes, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and target down Akuma first. Okay, so let's go ahead and target Akuma because I don't want him to take out my green heroes, okay, which he's going to be able to do really easily. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attack Akuma and see if we can take him down. And then here you go. He does not revive himself, and Nefre is not able to revive anyone at all either. It just doesn't even happen. It's not like she tries and then gets blocked. It just doesn't even happen. So if you see that happening, that's not because of a glitch. Okay, that's because there is a Necros present that actually is preventing you from being able to use the revive skill. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why he's so strong. This is really changing the meta of the revive here. If you are depending on revive as your strategy, this is how Necros is going to be an issue for you. Okay, and then having Necros go first also puts the decreased defense on the heroes, and so when you use like Marinas or other heroes, you can also deal a little bit more damage because the decreased defense makes it so that your the amount of damage that goes through is increased. All right, so combination of Vepris here, Necros, and also Marina here. Really what I'm doing is I'm just sort of adding a lot of damage potential to the heroes, and I'm using freeze as sort of the primary way of defeating our enemies here. And for our final sort of last battle here, I want to actually try and see if I can show the interaction when Najar's on the board. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can get Najar's ability up without sacrificing my own health too much. And so we're going to go ahead and try and take out Akuma first. Okay, but what we are going to see is when Najar uses his ability to taunt, how that impacts Necros is what I want to show. So we're going to go ahead and see we're going to see Najar use his ability. So he's going to use Taunt, and also he's going to have Reflect. Unfortunately, we do lose Marina, but we also were able to get rid of Akuma at the same time. Okay, so here we go. This is what's going to happen here. I'm going to go ahead and first apply all of this. I was trying to clear out the spell shield from Nika, but now you can see what happens here is I cannot choose anyone else other than Najar to attack. And let's see what happens when we use the skill from Necros. Okay, so pay attention here, and you'll see that what happened is you just see damage on Najar, and the reason for that is because Najar has Taunt. And remember what I said, the chain damage actually goes from one hero and jumps to the next, but because there's Taunt, the damage stays on him because he's not able to move away from the Taunt. And so at least for now, in order for you to be able to damage all the other heroes and to damage all the heroes, you need to actually get rid of the Taunt. That's the first thing. But the second thing I think, which is a bug, that is all enemies should have gotten defense down. Okay, and I didn't see that happen, so I think there is a bug where defense down is not being applied to everyone. Chain damage, I think, is acting as expected, but not the chain lightning is behaving as expected, but not the defense down. So that's what I'm thinking. We'll see what they say when they take a look at this interaction and review the bugs that are being reported here. But personally, I think that I kind of expected that from the damage perspective. When there's taunt, all the damage is gonna go to the single player, a single hero. And now let's go ahead and use Necros again. So again, we're going to keep it on Najar, and you'll see that now all enemies get damage and all the enemies get defense down as well. So what I would have expected is defense down for everyone and all the damage stay on Najar. That's what I would have expected. We'll see what they say when they take a look at this, and if there's any fixes that are needed. Easy fight by any means, but I think that, you know, sort of knowing where to apply your skills is very helpful. And I think it's also important to learn and understand the interaction when you're up against somebody who has taunt, what that means, and hopefully I've shown enough so that you know what Necros is like. Anyways, I know it's a pretty long video. I have quite a few fights in here, but hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below, and hope you have a good day. Thank you, and I'll see you next episode. Bye now.